Well, the stream's back up.
Yep.
What's the plan? Waiting for money? Gonna go get set cards? Wanna go to the auction house?
Oh, we don't have the money for the auction house. We've already been there. I spent all the money.
Well, there's 4 of you that have money. Some amount. Might be able to buy something. Don't know.
I have like 1,900 gil. Unless I've got some in my chest.
I mean, I got money. If we want to do that.
Alright, I got 2,200.
I got 44k.
We've got to go to Alexandria, so we might as well see what's there. Once as well.
Do?
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
I already said what I'm down to do.
Yes, please.
Did you?
Yeah. I said I'm down to wait around for money or go out to the outer continent.
Alright, so we're teleporting back to Alexandria and waiting. Yes?
Sure.
If we are just waiting, we could investigate, but here first.
Let's get here.
On the dark house. Say hi to your family.
Yeah, but didn't Mackie say he doesn't know, can't remember what he was going to roleplay?
Go there, see if we missed anything because we left in kind of a hurry after the shit started to go down.
You did?
The dark house, yeah. Oh, we've got a time ship. Where is that here?
Where's what?
Time ship.
Limblin Plateau, isn't it?
There's on Pato.
Use that to get to the dark house. Have a look inside, see if we missed stuff.
Okay.
No one else is saying so we'll go to that 7 8.
Yeah, sounds good.
I mean, I can't remember what I was going to do there, but we might as well go there and see if I
No.
can remember it.
It's amazing how silent it gets when there is actually no music in the game.
Yep. Alright, you all hop aboard the time ship. As well as taking orders, because he's the only one who can pilot. Presses a few buttons, inputs a card, and you'll teleport over to just on the outskirts of the dark house. Just like before, on the outskirts, it just looks like an orb house deep in the woods.
I tried to look around for whatever it was that triggered the illusion.
Nothing is triggering the illusion, it's just, it is within a dome of magic.
Okay.
If you want to, you can investigate where the dome starts if you wanted to.
Sure, yeah. You want to try?
Roll me perception. Anyone can do this if they're going up to try and investigate.
Yeah.
Perception. +8.
Bam.
I take it Rikishi's not going? Okay, apparently.
Ah.
Alright. everybody, well, you four, I guess Kutas and Verizon will just keep guard at the ship. Or go off to the house itself as you go towards the outskirts of the dome. You look around the edge of it, trying to look across the floors, the trees, and anything to find any notion of the barrier itself. You will easily find that the barrier has a sort of a wibbling kind of aura to it, as if you're looking at heat waves coming off the ground. So if you're close enough, you can plainly see there isn't a barrier here. Besides Nogmeg, the rest of you also notice that there is a kind of... there's a indent of a line going in a circular motion around the dome itself, as if has cut into the ground to make a kind of edge around the dome. The gold, you also notice that the trees kind of have a weird coloration to their bark on the inside and the outside of the dome, as the dome does kind of go through some of the trees in their midsection. So half the tree is inside the dome, whereas the other half is outside. Looking from both sides of the dome, if you're inside and outside, it seems the tree on the inside is being affected in a weird way, as when you enter in, when you look outside of the dome, the world is still the same, it's just the inside of the dome changes. However, the tree looks as if it's been kind of burned in a sense. It's not dead, but it's taken damage from a sort of fire. And you're not too sure why that would be coming from this dome itself, or if it's the dome doing it. And Jack, you hate magic. You hate magic so much, and you're so superstitious. You look towards the ground, looking for anything and anything, and even without detect magic, you're able to find the magical runes around the edge that are keeping the dome in place.
I guess I'll say to the party, "Hey, come look at this."
Okie dokes.
Yeah, if Rikishi points it out, you can see several runes on the inside of the dome, just kind of behind the line itself, going across and around the edge of the dome itself.
Is there a way to kind of detect the caster of a spell like this? Or get an idea of...
The only way you'd ever find out if somebody has cast a spell is if they cast it in a specific way, as if a calling card, or if they have a certain, handwriting style. But runes are normally all written the same. And you would need to use detect magic to even notice that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, I can't. Is there a way to try to, for someone who could do that, to investigate and see how long this thing has been here? To recognize the spell illusion thingy?
Sure, with a spellcraft you can see how long a spell has been active for. But you'd need to detect magic beforehand.
Would you be able to do that to gold?
Yeah.
The gold puts down his loudspeaker as he glows his eyes into an azure colour. Roll me a spellcraft.
Got it.
Get the +8.
Are you doing this? Are you doing this inside or outside of the barrier?
Inside, right? Well, I would want to do this inside.
Alright.
What? Ooh, let me roll a d6. And that. Come on, buddy. There we go.
Well, that puts you over the gate of 5s.
Ha.
Alright, you can tell that this spell itself is going to be lasting for a very long time, if not an infinite amount of time. However,
Almost as if it's permanent.
yes. It'd be very expensive to make this permanent, though. You can tell that this barrier is between the ages of 3 and 5 years old.
3 and 5 years old.
Wait, what? Oh, so that's probably when it got attacked.
Sorry, what'd you say?
That's probably when it got attacked then.
Possibly. 3 to 5 years would give you, at most, or at least, 2 years of a gap between this illusion spell and you leaving the mist caverns that you were in. Mackie.
Been like 10 years, I think.
It's been like 10 years?
I left the cabin.
What? I'm confused. I have notes that it's been 7 years or something.
Yeah, but Mackie wasn't in this barrier. It was Meg.
Meg was in this barrier.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, because they swapped backstories,
Right,
so this would be Meg.
It still makes sense for Mackie to come, but it's to somehow match up with when I came through the cabin because I got put in.
Is there any chance you two could have come here before you met up with me, but when you'd been met up together?
We were together for a year, and that was at the farm.
Yeah, we never came here before.
That's when we pretty much headed straight toward Southgate. We met near Dolly, but we didn't go beyond it.
Because when you two met me, Dogmeg was the one living at the farm.
Yeah.
You were the one with the darker origins. Things have changed because we came here. In 5 years.
Want to try to dispel this barrier?
I am not the person who can do that.
Alice?
You want for us to dispel the barrier?
At least try to.
I mean, can we figure out if this does anything else? And that's like an illusion? Is it just the illusion is keeping up, or is there something else to it?
the way that spells work, normally you'd only see one spell being active on one particular area. You can't have something occupy the same space unless it's like a different type of... This barrier would only have one effect unless the spell itself has several effects. So this barrier itself would just be illusion. And Belgravia.
Damn it, how long have we known each other, guys? I'm trying to remember. Like, I'm reading my backstory, but I can't. I didn't write down
We've
actual
been
numbers.
as Concertina Farino for 5 years. Well, 5 years before the game.
Okay.
I've been... Maki and Megan have been together for 7 years before the game. So this barrier definitely happened after Meg left the house.
But some magic did go on before to swap us over. Not clear by who, or when, or why. Actually, managed to dispel the barrier.
No. Still checking, because he does not have the description for the first dispel.
Oh.
So I have to look it up.
Got a greater one as well.
Dispel magic.
Yeah. Dispel's magic, doesn't tell me much. I'm reading the greater one.
It's called Dispel, that's what it does. What would happen if we just tried to destroy the runes?
Most of the time, runes can't be destroyed like that.
Oh.
There are spells to get rid of runes, but there's so many, like, it would take you a very long time to do it, and you don't exactly have the tools to do it yourself. Most of the time, you'd need to burn the runes off of whatever they're on, because normally they're placed on, like, cloth, woods, and stuff that can be burned. But this is dug into the ground, so even if you were to fill it in, you'd still have, like, the outline of the runes being there. And since nobody here is, like, a mason guy, it'd be very hard to actually get rid of the runes. They're also magical, so you would still have the outline through the magic itself. Alright, so you can target a single spell, so you can do it on the barrier. But it's not telling me, because I know dispel, you can only dispel up to a certain level. But it's not saying it in this spell itself. That's third. And dispel is only temporary, it comes back after a while.
Well, if you dispel the illusion, we might be able to look around a bit better before it goes again.
Okay, but Dispel Greater is just more creatures, so she could just use normal Dispel apparently. I swear it might be for like anti-magic for levels or something. Because I know Dispel or something along that line, so you can only do spells of like 4th level or something.
What was the conclusion of the blood relations for you guys?
Mackie and Nogmeg are not related.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I could try to save the family, the farm, but pretty much have Maki at this point, and I don't know how we're going to do that discreetly if we want to.
She might run out of MP by the time she's able to do it.
I mean, I guess...
Let's just stop then.
Like,
if
she's
failing.
times and she hasn't dispelled it.
What are you trying to do?
Trying to dispel the barrier around the dark house.
What? Trying to get a 20?
Oh well, it is. All we know is she's failed.
Aren't you you're just allowed to take a 20 if you just got as much time as you want?
No, it's a spell. You can't take 10 or 20 on this.
Got it.
Done 19 times and she hasn't been able to do it.
Can we go in the house and have a proper look around? Like any clues or anything really, what we missed before? Yeah,
if it's just an illusion, then it shouldn't really affect anything we find inside, right? It's just meant for people looking from the outside to mask what this house actually is.
You'd only know what Dugold's initial spellcraft would have told him.
Well, that's what I gathered. You said it does one thing, so it only does the illusion. So that's my theory. If I'm wrong, then that's that.
I mean, Varela's is here, so she can do spellcraft as well. She's been doing all that.
Yeah, she's much better than I am.
Please.
What bonus do you give to spellcraft?
+8.
+8. Alright, so +8 to this. So 38. You roll. She rolled an 8. Gonna re-roll herself.
Smart. There you go.
Alright, so +8 onto that for 46. Okay, so I can't remember what you got to gold, but I think this is higher because you did it some time ago now.
Yeah, I did like 42 or something.
Alright. The rest will tell you almost the same. This barrier itself is just a barrier around this area, which, if you're looking from the outside in, it basically disguises the look of whatever is inside the interior itself to whatever the person who casts the spell wants it to look like. He'll also tell you that this is a very long-lasting spell for several years up to a permanent spell, though she'll also say it's going to be very expensive because she's dispelled it quite a few times and failed, so it's a very high-level caster who's done it, and the more powerful the spell is, the more expensive it is to make it permanent. Bryce will also tell you that even if this, well, the barrier itself only has one effect, that it's changing its look to everyone outside, but there can be more spells within the barrier itself. But the barrier is just changing the look to the outside.
Could you, do we have any understanding of what the spell components might be? If it's expensive and we have a rough timeline, we could ask around. I don't know how useful it is to you guys, but...
Let me look, see it detect magic.
I think anything's a clue at this point.
I think it would depend on if we could identify the spell, I guess.
Yeah, I'm looking at spellcraft as well.
Okay.
It says identify spell, so as it's being cast, this is still ongoing. Though it's just slightly different. I'd say yeah with both of your checks. It's just a very high-level illusion spell, just like any caster. You could make up your own spells. This isn't one you'd normally just like teach at a school or for a scroll. It's one somebody's made specifically to do this. And for the size and the duration it currently got, you'd have a guess that you'd be using gems, and the gems would be worth around 2,000 gold. Oh, gil, sorry.
Substantial.
Well, with your estimation of 3 to 5 years, it's got to be expensive.
Yeah.
Also, this is a very big area. It's about like about 100 feet. Is it radius? From one side to the other? I forgot what that is.
Radius, yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah. 100 foot from the middle to the outward ceiling. It's a 100-foot radius. From one side to the other, it's about 200 feet. But it's a circle, so it's not square. It's big. It's big and tall.
Okay. Well, I mean, since we understand what the spell components are and timeline, we could ask. It's one of the capital regions that we know have access to those sorts of things, or might have had access to those. If you want to know who set up this spell, might give you guys move you closer to something, since it's been bugging you this whole time.
Would be nice.
I mean, yeah, of course, it bugs me.
I don't know if being stuck with the timeline is new, mate.
I mean, wouldn't it bug you if someone just messed with your whole background and history?
How dare someone
Of course
take
it bugs
my
me.
backstory I
It's
spent
heavily
hours
on
in
your
games
conscience.
Sort of want to understand, like, why would someone go through all these measures, all this trouble, with just a couple of moogles?
God, I know we're amazing, but not special in that sense.
I mean,
Since you guys discussed this, for us is also going to try and figure out how long this stuff's been here for.
Good, because she'll probably have a...
She's,
Oh,
she's going to
You can
definitely
roll for
redo
me.
that.
come on, Burleys.
Yeah.
There you go.
Alright, 46. I don't know if she can... Does she have anything that buffs up her rolls or anything?
I don't know if her, oh no, it doesn't help her. Nope.
Just Nogmeg stuff. Did I pass her up in ranks in spellcraft? That doesn't make any sense.
Right, I stopped putting it in.
His spellcraft is 11. Has he not leveled up to 12? No, he's got points in. He's just been doing a load of other skills.
Gotcha.
I say like one of his moats, something he can add to a thing.
45 wasn't good enough.
No, I'm saying he would do stuff like that.
God, yes he would.
+3 to 1 attack or damage roll, skill, or ability check save. What bonus? Doesn't tell me what that does.
I mean,
It's a
I
ton
have
bonus.
Harmonic Chorus, which gives plus... No, never mind, that's just for saves. I give +2 morale bonus to caster level, but I think we talked that if you're full caster, it doesn't help.
What
I
does
don't think
8
it helps
do?
anyway.
That's just skill checks.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
a
skills.
luck
Never mind.
bonus.
Yeah. Yep.
Is your thing luck, or is yours morale?
Mine's morale mostly.
Down either of those two on morale then.
Pretty much everything is morale that I give.
Or
Unless
you
it's
can
for
bump us
myself.
up but more.
Who said that was above morale?
No, the foretell is luck. The first one, for intents and purposes, is untyped because he hasn't written it down. Just seeing what else he can actually give to himself. The way I have is his macros, but okay.
Hang on.
Because you only get one attempt at spellcraft. So if he does all that stuff,
Where is it?
he has a 51 right now. I don't think he has anything else that can bonus himself. That's not the same type.
I can inspire competence to give you +3, and that's a competence bonus.
Did you not give that up because you're a prankster? Or is that something
No,
else?
I inspire courage is what I don't have. I have inspire
Okay.
competence, so
Sure.
I can do that. With +3.
I'll be 54. I don't think I can give him anything else. Why does he only have a +2 enhancement to his intelligence?
Don't you like a bug?
No. Alright, well, he has like 54.
I have someone that gives +2 morale bonus to intelligence, but I don't know if it stacks with the aura.
We're not gonna have enough time for all of these buffs for that to work. Because he has to do this in like the next turn, so.
Okay, 50. What did I say? 55.
Alright. He's pretty much stuck at 54 at this point, unless he uses a hero point. I don't think he's a hero.
I mean, I can do the give +2 to intelligence.
Don't think he needs it.
No, you can only do so many things.
Okay, sure. That's fine.
Yeah, Veronis will tell Dugold that he got a false reading. And from her inspecting the inside, she can actually tell you that this barrier is... Well, even with her role, she doesn't even know exactly what it is. She will know that it is between... No? Let me double check.
Oh,
Oh, no,
hoity-toity.
She's a lot closer than I thought she was. She'll tell you that this barrier is about 25 years old.
Wow.
Like, with an error of 1 year, so 24 to 26 years old.
Holy shit.
Um,
Wait, what?
yeah. This is like my lifetime.
Yeah. Like, quite old. Don't act it.
Well, how old are you, Meg?
I'm 25.
I think Mackie's a bit older.
You're like
Somebody's been
1 year
hiding you
older,
for a
maybe.
while.
Yeah. Been here all my life. Oh,
Sounds like somebody is a prophecy, baby. Gives a little poke in the tummy.
But then why
No,
would we...
just don't. Okay, please don't.
Let's just delve into more questions, goddammit.
Like, I mean, kind of with what Maki told me about him and the mist stuff, I can kind of understand why someone would think that's pretty amazing. But I'm just me. What?
Why us?
Why not?
We don't exactly have magic, well, we don't have godly powers, so why go through all this trouble?
You sure about that?
I haven't tapped into him yet.
Well, we all have tranced. That seems to be a big deal to some folks.
Yeah, but your
I mean-
Cutas's background hasn't been switched and your house is surrounded by a magical barrier. And your
Yeah,
parents don't turn into
Trance
werewolves.
affects like 1% of everyone.
Just
Probably lower than
coincidence.
1%. Like trance is myth and legend.
So we're a group of people.
Hella lucky.
We've all tranced. And in Verelis' timeline, she doesn't recall any of us playing a part in the world.
Are we the thing that can change everything?
Well, I'm just wondering if all this goes back to Nogmeg.
Not older than us. I would go back to Nutmeg if you have
But she's
time.
the one who sets out on an adventure.
I will.
It's all Nogmeg's fault. I'm just saying.
Well, technically, I was just kicked out. You know? Like, for a while, I thought I was looking for adventure, but turns out it was pretty much just whatever people were there giving me, they just kicked me out.
Wait, what's that? What'd you say?
I mean, you remember when Maki used to tell, like, how he was kicked out of the house, so that's what happened to me. It was just a room, and then there was a fight, and they kicked me out. And I mean, I'm kind of glad to be out. That was a terrible place.
Why do we always do this? We always end up with more questions.
I don't know. Like I said, we can go to the magic shops in Trino and Alexandria and
I wasn't
See,
even on this continent 25 years ago.
yeah. Yeah, I guess that's with that time frame it probably wouldn't work.
I was delivering letters 10 years ago.
You should just go home and be a post-Moogle.
Never. Sorry. Alright. Now we've got more questions. Do you want to head off to Alexandria? Right, get
I haven't
out.
even entered the house yet.
Yeah, we haven't done the second search now. You guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
You've just been outside of the barrier.
Let's go.
All of this just from the illusion barrier.
I mean, Rez has already spent half her MP bar just trying to dispel the thing.
Let's go inside so you can see. Now we're actually got startled. Osmond.
Alright, if Rez is more intrigued, she's going to follow you. This could be Kutas and Larry guarding the ship.
Perceptions as such. Or clues, I guess.
Depends what you're going to be looking for. Like, are you looking in the area around the house, inside the house, or the exterior of the house?
I'm going inside.
We could use Ryukishi and Q-Tess's
Who's going to leave
perceptive
Horus on this time ship?
snouts and or tongue.
Oh, baby.
Perception for the household.
Are we all doing perceptions?
Let's do it. Or I'll click a
Plus 8.
tab.
Is it +8 to any
Wow.
skill?
I have wisdom, intelligence. Pretty sure I have something else too. But like it's an aura that I can change as Swift, so I'm just changing it around.
Is it wisdom and intelligence, or is it all?
It's aura.
Okay.
I'm just kind of changing it around, looking at the situation. If we think about stuff, it's intelligence. If we're looking for stuff, it's wisdom.
Bam. Always trying to be helpful, Dukes, but
Oh,
you
damn
just
it.
don't have it.
That's weird. That's the second crowd in perception.
It is.
You get them out before we go to the cave. Why not?
So whereabouts are you looking right now?
I'm inside the house. Like any room we didn't go in before.
I take everybody else is doing the same.
Yeah.
Alright. You'll go throughout the house, looking beneath, behind, and above any objects, looking for any hints or clues or things out of the ordinary. Okay, actually, I'll roll this. Let's see. One is for the gold, 2 is for Maki, 3 is for Perillus, 4 is for Yakishi, and 5 is for Kutas.
Uh-oh. The gold's the chosen one.
Alright, to gold. Whilst everybody is sniffing, licking, and looking around the building, with your keen eyes, and since your detect magic will still be going on, you look around some of the bookcases, trying to identify some of the books that are completely destroyed, and as you move things around, you pull a book from the bookcase, and it's a bit stiff. Do?
Yes.
Did you hear anything I said?
No, I guess not. What?
Okay, so as you guys are walking around, looking, smelling, and tasting the house, to gold, you go to one of the bookshelves and you try and move around the books, trying to find anything that you would have. Why have you got plus 16 to diplomacy?
Because I just added the 2 intelligence points, which gave me 12 skill points. So I put 11 into diplomacy. No, I put 10 into diplomacy, sorry.
Get out of my way, books.
Don't want to do studying.
And you don't find any books that are like not destroyed. But as you continue moving around, you find one that is quite stiff.
Pull on it.
Roll me strength.
Think you're gonna get away from me, book? Early librarian gets the book. Give me the book.
You tug and tug on the book as hard as you can, and then you feel a slight breeze from the wind as your beard picks up and wraps around your hand as the book comes out along with your beard.
My beard comes out?
No.
Just falls off. Falls off
The
and
beard
runs.
is helping you pull.
Gotcha.
You hear a clunk and then something tug on the book as you completely tear the book from the bookshelf, and it seemingly pulls off a piece of rope and it snaps in your hand as the book comes out. The book kind of crumples in your hand as some of the dust and decay kind of scratches away in your fingers, and underneath you feel a kind of a metallic binding to the book itself. As the rope kind of like dies along with the bookshelf, start to feel a rumbling underneath your feet.
What does he
Help.
do, Kapal? I don't know what did he break this time?
So the book does it open at all? If I open it up?
If you try and open this book, it apparently does not open.
Big old fake.
Might want to clean it with something.
The old
Clean it with your
speech
beard.
Or prestidigitation.
Yeah, that one.
I don't have prestidigitation. What do you think I am, a wizard?
I have it.
Make has it.
I rolled a 1, I'm just stooping in the wrong room.
Guys,
Hey,
everybody,
it's just playing something about.
ensemble the heroica. Go.
She will walk over and just start flaming up his
roll me
throat.
a D20.
Oh
Wait.
god.
Okay.
Besides the gold.
Okay.
The lowest one is the loser.
That's very different.
Roll an
Why'd
11.
you roll it twice?
I didn't mean to.
This is Morellis.
Oh,
This
no,
is
good.
Kutas. Okay. So the party all come into the room that DeGold was in.
Everyone just
As-
spits at it. Now wipe it, boy!
As Morellis enters the room, she walks over the rug and falls down into a staircase.
Bye, Morellis.
You alright there, Kupo?
Ah,
Oh boy.
Put this here! DeGold, is this a trick?
Well, I didn't plan it.
Morellis will just like stomp up the stairs, just rubbing her ass.
Well, why did you come back up? We're going back down. Come on.
But I thought you used it with a book!
Huh?
You got a book! That's what you wanted us for!
Yeah, Meg, clean the book. Let's have a see if there's all on the book.
Yeah, I mean it's.
Oh,
Why did we
Sure.
all roll a d20?
To see
You
you fell
fall
down.
down.
Yeah, so you rolled it down.
Oh.
I prestidigitation in the book.
You clean the book from all the soot, dust, and cobwebs, and it is a very garish, golden, kind of like box. So, a box in a design that has no insides. It's just shaped to look like a book.
Oh, that explains that.
I
Why are you
prepared.
giving her SMP for? She recharges
going-
it every hour.
Yeah, but we're going down staircases and she's just shitloads outside. I don't know what's down there.
Okay.
I'll try and
You-
open the box.
You start chucking ethers at Morellis.
Yeah. Yeah.
Use
Just make
3 of
one mixed chocolate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, drink this.
It's only 1d6 plus 1 each.
So you guys are going down the staircase?
I'll try and open this box now that I know the box.
No, no, it's a box as in it's square. It's not actually containing anything.
Oh,
It's just
Okay.
it's a fake book.
gotcha.
And down the stairs we go.
Dun, dun, dun,
Kind of
on the
walk
stairs.
next to Maki and kind of whisper, the farmhouse didn't have a cellar, did it, Kupo?
Oh, I can remember, Kupo.
Who's blowing
Well,
bubbles?
Yeah, she's under the staircase, Kupo. So now let's go back and find out.
You all start to descend the staircase with the rug kind of like halfway up the stairs themselves. As you go down some far distance, about 15 to 20 seconds staircase. So you could assume it's about 1 or 2 stories into the ground itself. It's not a spiral one; it's a straight staircase, so it's going close to the edge of the barrier itself. If it was a full circle above and below ground.
Cool.
And you finally reach the bottom of the staircase, and thankfully, DeGold has cast Torchlight on what? Your staff.
Yeah.
Alright.
I was gonna go Gandalf-y when we go in dark places.
DeGold lights up his staff as it allows you all to plainly see the staircase. The staircase itself is made out of a hodgepodge of wood and stone. The walls themselves are just being cut stone and mud, as if they've been digging into the ground to get down here. And the staircase itself is it's not been touched at all. There's plenty of dust and cobwebs lining the walls and the stairs themselves, with no sign of damage or wear and tear to them themselves. And as you get to the bottom, you get to a very kind of sturdy looking metal door. It has 3 bars around the top, signifying something of something you can look through, as if you could imagine it being a prison cell. And the door itself has a handle and a very large lock. A normal key would not fit it.
I tried sticking the gold box in it.
That's
Ricochet like cracks his knuckles like, do you want to break
Okay.
the door?
You kind of like you put the gold box onto the lock, but it's like a child trying to put a triangle into the circle. It fits, but it doesn't make sense.
That's a big lock. Take it back out.
I look through the keyhole.
You don't need, well, at your height, yeah, you do need to look at the keyhole. You can plainly see through the keyhole, but with dark vision, it's all just black and white silhouettes. Though you notice there are no humanoids in there.
I can't see anybody. Come on.
Do you want to break down the door?
Can I try and kick it? I mean, I could pretty much fit my hands in there.
Yeah, if you got the ability.
Yeah.
Whoever can open this with whatever.
Well, is
means
it
they have.
magical first? Someone detect magic.
Dead Stat magic is still on. The door itself is not magical.
So what is it?
It's disable device to pick lock.
Do you even have any tools?
Yeah, 3 bottles.
Okay.
You fail at trying to unlock the door.
Someone give me bonuses or not?
Is it my turn now?
Wait. Anyone give me bonuses or anything?
I can give you inspire competence.
+3?
Yeah.
Because of how big it is, can Meg help me?
You cannot aid another on a task you yourself cannot complete, and she does not have high enough to complete this.
So it's my turn then.
Oh, so no matter if I roll the 20, I can't do this.
No, she can't. If
Right.
the person aiding cannot do it themselves, they cannot aid you.
Yeah. I could always take a 20, but we're here for a while.
Stand aside and I'll do it.
Oh, I rolled 1 more. 3rd time's a charm.
With 25, you still don't not unlock it.
4 times a charm.
With 33, you
Damn it, it didn't roll fast enough. I was going to do that straight after your 3rd time's a charm.
Rikishi kind of like kicks above your head into the door, but it just kind of like shakes.
I'll take the 20.
You're going to be there for about
Well,
20
It'll be that
times
much
how long it
longer
takes
if
to
we do
pick lock.
I'm going to kick it one more
I mean,
time.
We've been here for quite a while anyway.
Yeah.
Alright, Rikishi continues to kick it as Maki spends a couple minutes just picking the lock. You'd end up with a 37, wouldn't you? You have 17.
yeah.
Alright. After the time, you kind of...
38 if I take my armor off.
It goes up
Again.
to 5, so... with a 37 or a 38, you still find you cannot unlock it.
Wow. Need a bit more bonuses.
One more time.
Rikishi continues to kick the door that is very thick metal, and it just
Alright.
breaks.
Alright.
Alright, Rikishi kind of just puts his foot down and is just like, okay, my foot hurts now.
Can I do that time damage to it? I did into that one wooden door?
Yo,
Maybe.
well,
It's metal.
Make it brittle. Rust.
It's
Take a
very
long time.
thick. It wouldn't make it brittle, and this kind of like this is a very enclosed area. You'd have to do thousands of years to make this thing rust.
I'll always go upstairs and see if there's a key anyway. Yeah, I'll go back up the stairs and house.
What if I threw a
Right.
fire gem at it? Would it blow it up?
Why not?
Sure.
Are you asking?
Anyone.
You
If
wanna
anyone
risk
knows if it
crumbling
would.
the whole house down?
I don't really fancy gaming right now.
Alright, well, it's just there as a last resort.
Well, I'm going back up the stairs and I'm gonna lock the bar.
Well, from looking at
Yeah,
the
this
keyhole,
grapple.
you'd be hard pressed to have missed a key for this.
Ah, true. Okay. There's two more points in the goddamn check. Get 40, and if that fails, we're screwed.
And I have no items that give you dex, so nope. Got nothing.
I've already got +6 decks in hand, so not gonna happen.
Okay.
Does none of Varela's stuff give you bonuses?
He has things that give bonuses to skill checks.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
You rolled it earlier.
That's for herself.
Her
Oh.
aura. She has an aura, but I don't know if that's +1 or +2. Get a macro for it as well. I can't remember what it's called.
No, there you go. You did roll it. Foretell. Allies gain a +2 luck bonus on skill checks.
Oh, is it allies? Oh, it is
Yeah.
allies.
How
That's
deep
it.
does this room go that we're looking at?
There you go,
Very-
Mac.
Very. It's a very large.
There you go,
room
Mackie.
outside.
I gave you your +2.
Oh, 40.
So
And
that's-
I'm gonna get another +5, so 40 is the best we can do. So yeah, does 40 work?
Yeah, 40 works.
Oh gosh.
I mean, 40 is a superior lock, and that's one of the highest you can do. So after spending quite some time, and everybody shout at you to do it left, no the other left, you finally unlock the door and you hear a very loud clunk as the lock releases.
Oh.
Well done.
Go inside.
Yeah, let's do it.
Who's opening the door?
I will.
Roll me strength.
Ah ha ha.
You push against the door with all your might, well, for all the might you would expect to be needed for a door, and the door just squeaks.
Anyone want to lend me a hand?
Ha. Come on, Kupo, you can do
Yeah,
it.
let's all
Take him in
push.
the line. Oh, God, that actually no good.
How is she
Tristan's
gonna?
not down there.
How the hell is she gonna be down there?
Ah, she's on the stairs.
No, she's not.
I'm gonna
You never
try
said
to
anything
push.
about the animals.
Do it right now. I have telepaths with her.
Oh, it's okay, Meg. All the little help will help.
I'm helping, I swear.
Varelis, come on. You got the most strength out of all of us.
That is true.
No, I take it back completely.
He's not feeling it.
Push.
Come on, to gold.
Want me to? Okay.
Everybody push.
Come on,
Everybody
beard.
push.
Oh yeah, to go. Did you get rid of your feed points, by the way?
Yeah, that should be gone.
Okay.
A little while back. Hiya!
So that combined.
Everybody pushes on the door as it continues to squeak as the metal kind of grates against the other metal, and it opens very slowly.
Yeah.
And
Have you tried pulling the door?
it stops kind of like a quarter way open, as if something on the other side is stopping it. But you could squeeze through the gap.
Yep, I'll squeeze through.
Yep.
Oh, what's stopping the door opening more?
Alright. As you get onto the other side, you inspect the other side of the door to see why it didn't open fully. And you notice 4 kind of human arm length spikes stabbed really deep into the door itself, and they are kind of pushing against the adjacent wall.
Wait, did you say
Along with-
pikes?
Spikes.
Bikes.
Spikes.
Okay then.
Thanks.
As well as these 4 spikes, you also notice plenty of scratches and metal dents, as well as what seems to be the metal itself kind of as if it was attacked with acid. There's weird like holes and bubbles in the metal itself.
So somebody didn't want anyone coming in.
Well, after investigating the door, I'll kind of see if I can see anything around the room.
With the gold light, you can see some of the room, though you notice it's much bigger than this immediate area, and the room is full of tables, boxes, and along those there's scraps of paper, parchment, gems, mortar and pestles, beakers, flasks, Bunsen burners, pieces of wood. There's also, from what you can tell from before, a few iron stones. Along with that, there's also plenty of other rocks and gems, and you can also tell there's a lot of cutting and smashing utensils like hammers, calipers, and the like. And adorning the floors and ceiling, you see, but year perception.
Yeah, perception.
You see a lot of chains hanging from the ceiling, along with candles that are no longer lit. You also notice a lot of, from what you can tell, tape measures hanging from hooks on the ceiling, and in the floor you see several grates leading into kind of like boxes in the ground itself, and there are plenty of kind of square, triangle, and circle shapes of metal just adorning the floor itself. Besides that, the floor is made of stone.
Well, I'll start searching the boxes then.
Yeah, let's search time. Let's figure out what the heck we're looking at here.
I take it you're going to search a box that has nothing on top, Rikishi?
Yeah, give it a go.
Alright.
Cha.
The first box you check, Rikishi, as you open it, your keen eyes dart inside, and you notice the scurrying of tails and teeth, as inside this box is a bunch of black and white rats scurrying around.
I'll kind of tell the party and being like, this one's full of rats.
Also, Rikishi, with your perception, you notice they are all breathing mist.
And they're breathing mist. Let's take him back to the steam engine guy.
Yeah, first engineer these rats.
What are you talking about? Let's keep looking. Alright, so we got mist infected rats. What else is around here?
DeGold brings out his investigator's notepad.
Yep. Gotta be ready.
Who else wants to open up a box?
Yeah, open boxes. Do we have to roll something? I'm opening a box. Let's do this.
Yeah, perception.
What's in the box?
A box.
Wow, what the fuck?
Ah,
The call just wants to know
Those
it all.
eyes. Right.
through
To
the...
gold, you open up a box, and yours is less lively, as inside of this box you find several tufts of, from what you could assume to be hair. All of them are kind of tied either near the bottom of them or near the top with a kind of like a bow tie or just a piece of string. And you can count 7 different tufts of hair of varying colours and sizes.
Can I roll survival to see if it's animal hair up?
Sure.
Well, the hair belongs to you.
Mean to Gold can also do that, and he's looking at it.
Survival. Oh, that roll.
If it's
Well-
wisdom, you get to play for it.
Yeah,
It's not the animal type, it's humanoid, and it's not hair, it's, well, it's
Fair.
technically hair. It's
What do you mean,
beards,
technically?
It's dwarven beards.
Ugh.
Yeah, sorry about that.
So it's just dwarven beard hair is in this box?
Yes.
I'll look through the papers around the room. Oh boy.
As you look at the papers, you're not sure you can identify what they're saying, as they're written in a language you don't even understand.
I speak a lot of languages.
You don't know this one.
Okay.
Does Varellis have like a spell or something?
Varellis knows like 18 different languages. He's pretty sure, yeah, she has 8, well, she has a lot of languages. This is how many languages Varellis knows. She knows Common, Moogle, Kieran, Bomasian, Dwarven, Celestial, Draconic, Abyssal, Sylvan, Terran, Infernal, Aquan, Ignorant, Aklo, and Veggie Pygmy.
What?
And she knows, with all those languages, these papers are not written in those languages. I don't know if she has the spell for every language. I can't remember if she's used that. I don't know where it would be in her spell list to use it.
Okay then. Are they all like all the parchments in this language?
Yeah, they're all in the same language. Well, it's more runes than anything.
Well, when did you take magic on it?
Detect magic is always on. Like, detect magic lasts for minutes on hours.
I mean, if there's a possibility of understanding this, we should probably keep a hold of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point, detect magic lasts for about 12 minutes. At least for Varellis.
And it's permanent, so well, it's free to use.
Yeah, it's free to use.
We do.
However, both Varellis and the Gold will notice a lot of these pieces of parchment are designed in a way that they would be similar to that of scrolls.
They tell what's written, well, what spells they are then?
No, they're just in the style of spells. They can't decipher them unless they use spellcraft. And even then, it's in a different language, so half of it they would misunderstand. They can still roll spellcraft to see like what type of spell score and stuff they are.
Let's see what we can do. Sure, no other nightmarish things. Nope, I'm still blind. That was horrible.
You say that with a 29.
I don't want to see any more things.
Well, you have such a high bonus, you can identify most of this stuff anyway. This would... Oh, look at this spell list again. 1 hour later.
So what's happening?
Okay, so you know that there are some astromancy. There's also illusion, necromancy, and chronomancy. Actually, I'll put that into the chat just so you have it. Alright, so those are the 4 different schools of magic you can tell from these scrolls.
Well, we could collect up these scrolls, right?
Yep.
Okay. How many scrolls are there?
Ask me at the end, because you're only in like the entrance to this room. The room's really big.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, let's get to more searching.
Guess I'll have a look at what else is in this room.
Well, Freakish, you've already done perception. Always done hers. Let's do Varellus next. Varellus doesn't find anything interesting, whereas Kutas finds the most amazing thing. Kutas will call you all over as he finds something that people might want to look at.
We'll see what it is.
Well, Kutas opened up a box and started to chew on some things, and he lets you know that this is not food. And he points inside, and inside is this many. Okay, inside the box that he found, you find 3 dragon scales and 1 half-chewed dragon scale.
Is there a way to check like how old those scales are?
Yeah, knowledge arcana.
Someone who actually has to do that.
Do. Boom.
Mackie says it's old, whereas to Gold and Varellus would be able to tell it. These scales are about 400 to 600 years old.
Jeez.
Do you want to take them? Anybody? Dragon scales?
I'll take them.
Okay.
Feel like you should.
No, I won't.
Scales.
Give them to Mackie.
That's his performance, I don't even know what they were.
I'm gonna look around and try to see if I can find pictures.
There are no pictures down here, at least what you can tell.
No illustrations, no nothing.
Nope. Not in this immediate area. Going after the pictures, are we, Fish?
Yep.
You guys just gonna stand around, or...?
I mean, if there's more to search, are we?
Yeah, there's lots to search, there's a big room.
Let's
Yeah?
just continuously search.
Can I do any perception for those pictures?
If you want to look at any of the vials and containers, you notice a lot of them still have liquids within them, but they've long since gone stale. To gold, you notice a lot of them are magical.
Collect these up.
Roll me perception for gold.
Okie dokes.
You find that from the beakers and around them.
Red.
And as you continue to go through the several tables, you get further and further into the room itself as... Aki! You see something in the ground. By one of the cages.
Oh, hello.
Are you joking?
No. The cages are more... You're walking above grates. Similar to the Beast Hoarder's place. You could look in, but it's not open.
I'll
And
look in. I
You
assume that's what it
see...
is.
Yeah, you see that corpse on the floor.
Oh, so this is like down below us then, there's no way for us to get in.
From what you can tell, there's no way to get in there.
Where I am, could I yell all the corpses?
Who in the what now?
Yell all the corpses?
What about the corpses?
See how old it is.
You can roll heal. You can tell the corpse has been dead. It's hard to tell since you've not seen other creatures of this type dead before, so you don't know how they decompose, but it definitely looks very old. It's at least been down here for a few years, and without getting in the cage yourself and getting your hands on, it'd be hard to tell a more precise number.
I'll keep looking then. Mainly along the walls and the floor, see if there's any hatches out.
Is that the right one? Yeah.
Oh boy.
In another one of the cages, you find this creature.
Dead?
It's dead, yeah. To gold, roll me perception.
Okay. He doesn't want to find anything else.
As you continue looking across the tables, you come across a leather-bound book.
Oh. Can I understand what this thing?
Well, you open it up, and it's hard to understand the insides, as pretty much the majority of its pages have been torn out. However, you do notice there are 2 pages still remaining,
Oh,
and they are journal
journal
entries.
page. Yeah, there it is.
Hard finding ones you haven't got at the moment. Okay, you get those 2 pages, and I shall read it to you after I add them in.
Hey.
Okay, so page 15 reads, "My puppets and I travelled quite a far way. The black mages assigned to us show no sign of stopping or need for rest, but both me and my puppets require respite. I sit down here and there, reading more pages on the current release of poems and plays within Lindblom. My puppet shows no interest in such literature. It only breathes on the spot while I sit to rest my feet. My puppet seems to mistrust the black mages. It continues to watch them as we rest or as we walk, taking care of many of the monsters by containing them or killing them." And that page ends with the letter E. Then page 49, "The time has come. My mist is ready. To the ether tree we travel. My master will not know of my plans, nor of my departure. My puppet and I will become stronger, our purpose found within the power we gain from my mist. There is nothing else." And that ends with S.
that's nifty.
Anything else in this whole build? Oh, but pretty much the tables and. Oh?
Yes, what?
In?
What?
Oh, I said, is there else to search or?
Yes. It's a very big room.
I'll keep searching. Stop
Yeah.
it.
For what?
Anything.
We don't
Interest.
know. It's
Boxes.
a big room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You find more cages in the floor with more bodies.
Looking for more boxes, files, any
There's
leads.
there's there's a lot more boxes and vials and pieces of scrolls.
Oh. Has anyone looked at the gems yet?
No.
Does anyone with magic want to look at the gems?
No.
You can check it out.
You check the gems out, I'm checking any boxes.
Alright, checking the gems out.
Also looking for is there any boxes that there are still left.
Spellcraft or Arcana?
Neither. You find a topaz.
Oh, what? Nuh-uh. No.
Okay, you don't find a topaz. It disappears.
What? But... No.
Why do you want a topaz so bad?
Bro, you don't even know.
I mean, we've had a topaz
You
since the
don't even know.
We've had one since the beginning of the game. I've had one in
But
my.
is it the right kind? Yours is not the right kind. What that you're talking about?
How do you know?
Because
Because
you've been
we talked
told.
about it. This one. Is this one the right kind?
Well, why am I still holding on to this topaz then? Can I sell it?
Because
I
you can
mean-
get it. You can get it recut, Jack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a little
You
too
just
big.
never done it.
Got it.
And for as far as you can tell, this topaz seems to be what you found back in Madain Siren.
Aw, dang. Let me look at my notes. Tell me notes. Tell me what I need to know. Ifrit. Right.
Oh.
Me.
Not big. Roll me perception.
Okay. Keep rolling like crap.
Alright. As you are searching through, you open up another one of the boxes, and inside you find a black kind of steel color, just kind of like a glass shard. It's about the size of a human hand, but bigger than yours.
Carefully pick it up. And if nothing happens, I turn to show it to either Dugold or Verlis.
It is magical. You'd have to roll spellcraft to figure out what it is, but I think DeGold's just reading all of his notes.
I am, yep. Sorry. How can I help you? I got lost in this here gem.
I found this thing.
Alright, this thing is...
Black
what is it?
shard of something.
No. Okay.
Cress is gonna re-roll hers.
Here goes nothing.
Those
Oh
magical.
god, Morales.
Yeah, I'll definitely add a d6 to that and see if we can break the 45. Yes, 45.
Well, spellcraft is more like 1s than in 5s, but
46. Yeah.
Okay, to girls, with the assistance of Varelis as well as your readings, you know that that particular shard is a time shard, and you should not give it to Varelis. Basically, that is a piece of the world itself, and that if you were to tamper with it, you could change the fabric of time itself.
Oh my
And
god.
those are very integral to one of the final spells of time mages to go through time.
Yeah, so Nogmeg, you either have to hold on to that or pass that off to me. One of those two things has to happen.
You can hold on to it. Well, if I want anything to do with this thing.
You will also notice the gold. The shard itself has a very, very faint magical aura, as if it's already been used.
And what is the aura?
Chronomancy.
Dang.
And without seeing it in its prior condition, you don't know how many times it has been used.
A time shard, huh?
Yes. Rikushi.
Hello.
Hello. As you're looking around, you find another book.
Oh, I'll open it up.
This one is in common.
Oh,
It has a different handwriting sound to all the rest of the parchments you've been finding. This one seems to be addressed to somebody.
guess I'll just read and see who it's addressed to.
I'm gonna have some coffee and hot chocolate after all this.
Alright, so it reads, number 9 will be the one to deal with the hill guards to the north. He will be curated to be like the one before, but with a higher potential and span. He will perfect the design of the last 8.
Interesting.
What the? What?
Same writing as the Journal pages.
Forgotten continent? No, it was the Gigas. The Hill Gigas is where I'm from. Hill Gigas.
Was there a question for me there? You all kind of spoke at once.
I don't have questions. Sorry, what were you saying?
Same
Max?
handwriting as the journal pages.
No.
Right? That's my ideas gone, so I'm going to keep looking for stuff.
Keep looking. It's a big room.
Yep.
I like how you're all fine with these things you're finding.
So what are we meant to do? We don't know.
Apparently Jack's opening up a door.
Oh, you know what? Morellis, could you do a greater dispel on the Misted Wolf Prime, the dead one? As
Okie
if,
dokie, artichoke.
right? That could reveal the.
Maybe.
We've already experimented with this sort of thing. It could reveal the person that it was once, or whatever creature it was.
Been dead for years, so.
Jesus.
Alright.
It's a big
Rose
description.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you can do. He selects the area around the Misted Wolf Prime, and it kind of pulled away into a radius around the body, as in the middle leaves a human corpse.
Anybody recognize this person?
You wouldn't.
I don't know. Maggie's had some weird experiences.
Yeah.
It's not a familiar face.
Okay.
It's just a human.
Do we do the same with the vice?
Can do.
Sure. Yeah.
Prez will do the same on the vice. And again, the skin and fur is all pulled about into a radius, as in the middle is a Babesian.
What? I guess Ryukishi would just have like a really close peer at it. See if he knows.
It's dead, Jim.
Well, yeah, I know that, but I meant if I know the person.
No, you don't know.
The Moogles from Billy and your guys' family, when they transformed, it wasn't a wolf prime, right? It was something a little different.
It was, yeah, it was a bit different. More like bear-like, maybe, in appearance.
That's it.
Huh. Interesting. So Burmesians. So now we know what the Burmesians look like under the influence of mist. Humes under the influence of mist, and Moogles under the influence of mist.
This is what Moogles look like.
Bears.
Look at that. Cute and terrifying.
Ah,
I mean, it's a Final Fantasy monster, what do you expect?
at least you know where the Moogle's weakness is. Pom pom.
And if you've searched all the crates in the bottom, you only find those two corpses. There's no more.
Do I have any understanding? So, like, with my evolve spell, if
Yeah.
I do the exoskeleton, will that reveal the form of, like, the dwarfs? Or is it just...
No.
Okay.
Evolve is creature magic, so it has nothing to do with, like, mist.
Gotcha. I wasn't sure because I learned it from the Misted Wolf, I thought.
No, their abilities are pretty much the same as they were if they weren't mist monsters. So,
Okay.
so if he was changing human into the creature, it's the creature itself that knows the magic, it's not the mist that does it.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
And you finally reach the end of this very long room. As you get towards the far end, you notice this same wibbling effect of the radius, and there's about 5 to 10 feet towards the end of the wall where there's like an area outside of the radius.
I'll go past it.
Yeah, let's check it out.
As you go past it, you kind of all of your senses change as smell, sights, and sounds all kind of melt away as you go out of the radius of the effect itself.
Alright. Is that all that's over here?
And as you go outside, you notice as you turn around, as you would do, you look inside to the bottom floor, and it's no longer chains, crates, bubbling beakers, and prisons. Instead, it looks to be sort of kind of like a mining shaft, as across the floor you see rails and minecarts going to and fro between several different parts of the room itself. At the far end, you notice a tunnel leading down into the earth with minecarts coming up and going down it. And aside the walls, you see plenty of pickaxes, lanterns, as well as other hooks for bags and coats. You see plenty of dwarven people kind of talking, drinking from cups, and kind of cleaning the surfaces around here. And every so often, you see a Moogle coming in and out of the cavern itself, handing off a letter to a random person here and there. And towards the staircase you would come down, you notice some humans come up and down, kind of bringing boxes of what you could assume to be vegetables and fruit, and then taking empty ones back up the stairs. And just from behind you, you feel a weird presence, as if you were to look behind, you notice a weird, it's just the wall again of smooth stone. And as you look back into the radius, you notice Burmesians walking from your direction as they converse with the other people, as they take the heavier equipment down to the mine shafts.
And that's all part of the illusion?
Yes.
Okay.
Got a time crystal in there, like showing us something from the past. Or somewhere else, something.
Is it just like outside in the forest after that, or like what's
What are we even
like
doing?
where do we end up?
No, you're still in the lower floor. It's just that at the far end of this room, there's a part where the radius doesn't touch, and you're outside of the illusion. So looking inside, this is what you see. Like you're outside of it, looking into it.
Like, will lead anywhere else, or is there just then a wall?
No, it's just a wall.
Yes, is
It
everyone
would
wants to go back?
have been safe to assume that the radius wasn't big enough to encompass the entirety of this lower ground.
I mean, sure, but why would whoever put this here bother illusioning up the cellar as well? Because you can't really see it from the outside.
Only a dome, so it just goes off one point and then dome
Yeah,
back.
I mean, I get that, but wouldn't it be just like a normal cellar? Why would Like, I imagine making magic look and sound like people would take a lot. Why would, like, someone designed this, right? Like, why?
Too much time on their hands.
Somebody's paying attention.
Way
to
too
the
much time on
details.
their hands.
Yeah.
Like, you could just make it look like a normal cellar if it was like a, you know, standard thing, but this is just, like, why?
Well, like Varellis would have told you, this is a spell made by someone. It's not something you just learn. They made it so it looked exactly like this.
Yeah, someone took the time to make the cellar look like this. And it I mean, like I said, I'm not illusionist, I don't know how it works, but I'd imagine it takes like a lot to design fake people interacting with each other.
Yep.
And the only way to see this scene is to go through the cellar, which you already know that it's fake. And I see, like, just David loop somewhere.
David what, someone? What did you say, sorry?
Just wait around to see if it starts looping.
Oh yeah, the scene loops. Like, the scene goes on for about 1 or 2 minutes until you notice things on a loop. Like, the same Hume would come down the stairs with the same box of stuff. The people would just eat the things from the crate, put the crate there, he'd take the same crate back up again. The same Moogles would deliver the same mail to the same people.
Like, no one else finds it weird that it's here in the first place.
Oh yeah, it's weird as hell, but like, can't do it automatically.
Yes, I'm not exactly sure what to do with it. Do you think there's something on this side?
So I'll search the wall, see if there's any like hidden buttons up.
Hello? Can I help you?
Oh, wow, that was quick.
No, if you knock on the wall, it is someone's.
Hidden buttons up.
There are no buttons.
Well, I'm not back up the stairs. I've had enough of this. Too many questions.
I think we've reached maximum knowledge intake for the party.
I mean, if Varellis was here, he might have something to do with that time shard, but he'll do his betrayal next time, I suppose.
Yeah, he can try. I mean, she can try.
Did you want to do anything with the topaz at all?
Yeah, it depends on if... Is there some sort of binding or permission thing that I have to go through with the Ifrit?
Can you appraise it to see if it's suitable?
Yeah, this one is usable, the one that we collected from here.
Okay.
Since, well, from your readings of, like, the inscriptions on the walls and such, you know you have to do something with it. You can't just summon him during battle. You've got to make a contract of sorts with the Eidolon. Otherwise,
Gotcha.
when you summon him, he might just kill you.
Okay, fair enough.
But, like, summoning him to talk to him, he might just kill you.
True.
Like, you're putting someone out of his realm, they might be annoyed.
Yeah. Be a whole issue. In that case, I would like time to think on that. But I definitely want to do something with that.
Time is in a whole week.
Yeah, for me personally.
Yeah. Do you guys want to do anything else within the house at all?
There's still the up room that we didn't peruse that much.
Places upstairs were all destroyed besides the dark room itself.
Yeah, in the dark room.
Oh, you want to go to the dark room, do you? Alright.
Go to the
Basically, we
dark
just
room.
went there, found the painting, found the compass, and left.
Yeah, very true.
So you didn't really look through it that much.
Yeah, it's fine. You can go up to the dark room again. Just like before, all the other rooms have kind of like collapsed in, and the dark room is open for you guys to walk inside. You left the painting as it was, didn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
that.
didn't do anything with it.
Alright. If you're looking at the painting, roll with perception.
Dun, 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 dun.
Hey, that's my crap.
Jack!
Alright.
Nice. Somebody wants to find this.
Not
I'm
bad.
rolling my crap on my perception.
As you look across the painting, just like anything else, it looks weird and out of place. It still depicts Mackie and his family, as well as the gravestones for his past pets and attrition kind of like next to him. However, you notice something odd off in the distance, and if you squint hard enough, you notice off in the distance is another house that wasn't there before, kind of propped up on a hill nearby. And it seems to be a very homey place to live.
3 billion by any chance?
No, the painting is of 3 Billions.
Oh,
Like it's a family photo in front of the farm with all the family members and with you. But now off in the distance on one of the hills, there's now a new house that has been added to the painting itself.
Would it be like this building if it was, alright?
No, this building you're in is in like a forest. It's not on a hill.
Can we search for this house if it is there? Maybe.
In the real world, yeah, sure.
Somebody make a note of where it is in comparison.
Well, it's wherever they took the picture in Billy Ann's, and it's behind them on a hill.
Yeah. Got a spot to check out.
Anything else you want to do in this room? Oh yeah, to gold, you still have to set magic on. The painting is magical.
What sort of aura?
Chronomancy.
Time magic.
oh, damn.
Varellis, can you identify maybe this spell better? It's chronomancy.
You give it a go.
Can you make paintings that change?
It's not a normal spell. It's a weird type of foretelling spell. Basically, it will tell the future of some sort, and just like the barrier around this place, it is ever changing and it's very long duration. So it's changing as it continues to exist, and that will explain why things are being added to the painting itself.
Oh man. So that means you guys might have had memory swaps for no reason. Just by virtue of being in this house and setting off some sort of weird misty trap.
Well, it doesn't really make sense because you were here as well with us. Why weren't your memories affected if it was just an accident?
How would it affect our, well, my family technically? They weren't here.
Yeah, that. If it was just an accident, we would like crazy talking to like those families who's. It also doesn't really explain why these buildings look identical.
Well, if the time shard is any indication, it seems like, and with what the time god said at one point with Varellis, and that Horus said at another point, just think we're on a not stable timeline.
Well, you're on timeline B, but Perez is from timeline A.
Right. And
Unless there's more timelines. You might be in D, for you know.
I mean, Horus mentioned that, like, there was, back in Bermesia, his whole thing with, I don't know, I feel like our timeline might be a little open to interpretation right now, and thus, magical buildings pop up. I don't know, you guys want to check out that, area that we see? That house on the hill?
Definitely.
If we can find it?
Yeah.
As well as that's what's in the area.
Do it.
What would be the best role to find this house?
And before we go, I try to look around the room a bit more. If there was anything else might have missed.
No matter how much you've scoured this room, you're pretty sure you've found anything of note.
Okay.
So you're going up to the house on the hill?
Yes.
Or on the hill to see if there's a house.
Alright. You'll leave the dark house as you go off towards the hill. Alright. Make your way off to the hill, and you kind of leave the woods behind as it comes to a very kind of smooth part of the hill and mountainside. You're able to find a kind of cut in the mountain itself that forms a path of sorts, and you're able to follow it up to a higher part of the hills itself, allowing you to look over the landscape of Norwich Heights. And you have a breathtaking view of the forests, Dali, Freebodians, as well as that of the gates and the caverns nearby. You also can see the waterfall off in the distance, kind of creating a hush of just water vapor. With the sun in the sky, it makes a breathtaking view. It seems very homely. But you don't see anything about a house here. Hello?
Detective magic.
No, I can't hear you either, Jack.
Sorry.
Are you? Not hide my spells, show my spells. Bam!
There's no magic here.
There is no magic here.
Not like an overwhelming feeling, or just...
How old did the people look in the painting?
A couple years older than what they do now.
Is that an overwhelming feeling, or what?
wouldn't say overwhelming.
But it stands out.
Yeah.
You can understand why someone would build a house here.
Yeah. Very close to build a house. When we finish saving the world, I might come back and build a house. How much is it to build a house?
a couple thousand.
That's fine.
350.
Nice homely house that is.
Oh, if you build the house, you'll fulfill the prophecy of the painting.
Yeah.
Ooh, spooky.
It would only be a partial prophecy. I think. Well, I don't know. Kind of makes me think as if it's a foretelling painting whose actions determine how the painting changes.
Maybe 9 because I'm in it.
Don't know.
A tumbleweed passes by.
Now we're on a hill.
I say we go back. I really think there's what else we can do in the house. Back in the go back to London and teleport to Alexandria.
Why are you going to teleport to Alexandria? Just going to wait out the time for the inauguration.
Yeah. My plan.
I think it's pretty much for me today, though. Personally. Sorry,
Yeah.
guys.
Alright, that's it.
Again, hit.